Hey guys, it's me Matthew here with an amazing video. Today, I'm going to show you the basics of Python. Python is a great programming language. It's really popular and it's used to create automations, AI, applications, and websites. If you don't know Python, it's okay. I'll teach you everything from scratch. Before I teach you the basics, I'm going to answer the question, why should you learn to code? Programming is a great thing to do. So with coding with Python, I prefer Visual Studio Code. So with Visual Studio Code, not only can I code with Python, but I can code with HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and many other languages. This is why I like Visual Studio Code. So to download Visual Studio Code, go to code.visualstudio.com. Then go to the top right corner which says download. Click on this button and it should take you to this website. It says download Visual Studio Code. Because I'm on Windows, I'll click this button. So once you've finished downloading Visual Studio Code, you should see this. Visual Studio Code, Editing Evolved, Start New File. And this is what we want to click. So click on this and you should see this. Select file type or enter file name. So I'll choose Python file, Python, as we're working with Python. And now you should see a new tab that says Untitled 1. Now you're going to write your first Python program. So let's say you want to print your name, or say it out in the terminal. This is very easy. All you need to do is print brackets and then your name. But let's try and run this one without debugging. I'll save this to my desktop, and now when I try to run it in my terminal, it doesn't work. And it says that the name Matthew is not defined. Now what this basically means is there's no variable called Matthew. And now there are two questions. One, why isn't this working? And two, why is it saying Matthew is not a variable? Well, first, let's correct this. What you're saying in your code is print and then a variable called Matthew. But we're not going to print a variable called Matthew. We want to print Matthew as the name. So to do this, we need to make this a string. But to understand strings, we need to talk about what are variables. Variables is a number or a letter or a word that represents a number, a float, a boolean, or a string. For example, x is equal to 10. This is what we call a variable. X is a variable because it represents 10. If I were to say print x, it would print 10 because x is equal to 10. But if I were to say print Matthew and then make Matthew a variable, we can finally understand why this doesn't work. If I were to say that Matthew is equal to 12 and we print Matthew, I'll run this and run without debugging, and it says Matthew 12. So why is this printing printing Matthew and this printing 12? Well, the reason is we have added talking marks before the Matthew and after the Matthew, which makes it a string. So a string is like a variable. X is equal to 10 just basically means X is equal to an integer. Y is equal to 10.4 basically means Y is equal to a float. So floats are just integers, but you're adding a decimal place. Then there's also booleans. For example, is jumping is equal to true. That is a boolean. It's a true or false statement. Now there's strings. For example, when we do name is equal to Matthew, we can see that this is a string. It's a piece of text inside of talking marks that we want to print out. The reason why this doesn't work is because without the talking marks, Python thinks this is a variable. There's nothing to represent for Matthew. However, this is a string. This string doesn't need anything to represent because it's a piece of text that we can easily print out. So now that we've finished talking about variables, we can finally understand how to use variables. For example, if I were to say that I'm 12, my name is Matthew, and my sister is, let's say, 4, I could just do this. Name is equal to a string, which is Matthew. And my age is equal to 12. This isn't a float. This is an integer and this is a string. And let's say has siblings is equal to true because I have a sister. So now we can see how easy using variables are. Now let's talk about input. User input is a very easy thing to use. If we wanted to ask a user of our program to say their name or say their age, we can easily do the same thing that we use for print. Input and then our question. For example, what is your age? But like variables, this input needs a name. So let's say age is equal to input. I'll quickly delete this and I'll keep this part. Age is equal to input. What is your age? And now, when our user answers this question, we can use our variables and our print function to say a sentence. So let's do one more thing. Full name is equal to input what is your full name? So now let's use this information that our user is going to put in. Let's make a sentence out of this. So I'll do print hi, and then our name, plus full name, and then a full stop. So plus full stop. I'll save this. I'll go to run and run without debugging. So it says, Matthew, what is your age? And I'll say, so I'm 12, so I'll say 12. What is your full name? And I'll say, Matthew R. Hi Matthew R. And it stops. So this is a really cool thing to do. Now let's do the same thing with our age. So print your and then our input, so plus age and then plus a question mark, so your, and let's say if they say their age is 14, so you're 14, and then we'll print that's cool. I'll save this, go to run, and let's do one without debugging. Go down. So Matthew, what is your age? My age is 12. My full name, Matthew R. Hi Matthew R. So you're 12? That's cool. See how this is very, very easy to do? We can use these simple integers, floats, booleans, strings, and all of this information. We can use this to make programs. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.